Hi everyone, this is Neha with College Shortcuts, and I'm so excited. I have a student with me here named Varenya who has graciously decided to give me his time. And I'm so excited to learn and tell you more about what we do here at College Shortcuts. I know so many people are curious about what we do or what it's like, and Varenya's recently gone through the college process. So, Varenya, welcome to to being on to the show, and I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, great. So, Brenya, just for everyone, just to give a little background, can you tell them a little bit about your background? Where are you from?
I'm from North New Jersey.
Okay. And I'm assuming there's a lot of Indian kids, right, in New Jersey area?
Yeah.
I'm sure. So, I guess my question to you is, you're from New Jersey. Tell us a little bit about, do you go to public or private school?
I go to a public school, public high school.
Okay. And how many students are in your grade?
In my grade, there are about 200 kids.
Okay, got it. And let's talk about you academically. Do you make A's, B's, C's, D's, F's? Where are you?
Generally, I make A's and B's. I hope at least.
Okay, great. And are you in more regular classes or honors AP?
I'm in almost all AP classes.
Wow. So like English AP, History AP, all those.
I think English is the only one I'm not in, but everything else. AP Gov, AP Calc, AP Physics too,
Okay,
everything.
great. And so you're in a lot of calc or math and sciencey types of classes. So
Yeah.
um, mostly honors classes, mostly A's and B's. Would you be open to sharing, what type of scores you were getting or within the range for your SAT or ACT?
I got a 1500 on the SAT.
Okay, awesome. That's a great score. And
Yeah.
so obviously would you call yourself a top student? I'd assume so, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah, definitely. And so I know that in the college admissions process, you probably felt some stress. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit with you, and if you can share with everyone, what is your experience, before you were with College Shortcuts and now at this moment? So take some time and kind of express, what that's been like for you.
Well, I guess before college shortcuts, I was really unsure of like what to do for college even. Like I didn't even know like how to apply, where to apply, what to write. And my college shortcuts consultant, she really helped me get an idea of what to do for college, like how to write my essays, how to start off, how to organize my resume, how to just get like a general like thought process like that's ready for applying to college.
Awesome. And, let's talk a little bit about that. So before you weren't sure, even though you got a really good score on your test and you've done honors in AP, do you feel like, let's talk about some of the results you're getting. Where do you have interviews currently at?
I currently have interviews at Harvard and Princeton University.
That's great. So I think it's amazing, right? Like you've obviously gone from A to Z in terms of, you've worked hard on everything, and then here you are with interviews in place. Let's talk a little bit about, what are you interested in studying?
I'm hoping to go into engineering.
Okay. And in terms of activities you've done in high school, can you talk a little bit about that?
In high school, I wasn't really into sports that much, but I did some sports freshman and sophomore year.
Okay.
And generally, I just stuck to clubs.
So let's talk about some of the activities, like any of them.
Math team, for example, we did small math team meets in our county, maybe once a month, and then we did small home meets at our high school, maybe again once a month.
Awesome.
And I feel like that just like dedication, like my college shortcuts consultant really helped me like express how much I love math and just like show the value of me going to math team every single time.
Great. And do you think that you would have expressed yourself as deeply in your writing if you did it yourself?
I'm not sure that I could because I really had no idea how to write at all before college shortcuts.
But you said you take English classes in high school, right? So do they go over this kind of stuff, or what did you feel was different?
They go over it briefly in school, but not as in depth as college shortcuts. It's a different type of style of writing for college applications. Usually for school in the English class, you're writing for a certain topic to take a side on something, and with applying to college, you have to express yourself and just really like sell yourself to the college and say, hey, this is why I'm such a good student. You should take me in.
Yeah, definitely. And tell me a little bit about your parents' background. Like, what do they do? Are they writers? Are they people that are more expressive or on the English history side of what they've done, or describe what your parents are like?
My mom, she's a scientist, so she works in a research lab.
Okay.
And my father, he's a travel agent, so it's more math and science on my side. It's not, I don't have like that much of an expressive background, so I feel like college shortcuts really helped me on that side.
And, obviously we talked with your parents about it. We've got a lot of parents that may not know why they should sign up. Why do you think it made a difference for you?
I really feel like it made the entire difference because without college shortcuts, I really don't know how I would have proceeded about applying to college.
Great. And did your parents go to college here?
My parents went to college in India, so it's a completely different process, and they had no idea what to do at all.
Got it. And so was it, when it came to the essays, do you think your parents could have helped you with editing them to the level at which we were taking them to?
I feel like my parents could have helped me edit a little bit, but not to the extent that the college is required, to the word limit they required, to the caliber of writing they required. And I feel like college shortcuts really helped me in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like in my case, my parents' first language wasn't English. My dad is an engineer and was an engineer, and my mom studied, something technical as well. And like, I mean, while they're super smart, like I want to be very clear, for them to edit my essay would have almost been funny to watch. I don't know if you would feel the same at this point with your parents trying to get you into Harvard and Princeton and looking at these schools.
Well, really, it's not just like I feel like they could edit an essay, but not a college essay because, as I said before, college essays are really different from regular essays, and they require like a certain amount of expertise with writing them. And I feel like my college shortcuts consultant really, I don't know, she just like really like pulled me through and just like helped me like figure out exactly what to do.
Yeah, and do you feel like, I mean, you obviously have, being an honor student like me and being driven, I'm sure you didn't have like a ton of extra time on your hand, like a student who's making C's doesn't really do homework. Like your time is really valuable, right? In terms of the amount of stuff you're getting done. People confuse the word shortcut in our name. Can you explain why we're a shortcut?
I feel like shortcuts is, yeah, I feel like people could get confused with that because shortcuts is just like the direct way of just applying to college, just like a straightforward way, because otherwise without college shortcuts, maybe I could have gotten the same caliber of writing, but it certainly would have taken me a longer amount of time to do that. And I feel like my consultant, she just really helped me just like streamline the entire process and told me exactly like what to do, and then just like left the rest up to me.
Awesome. And do you feel like, I mean, are you, you're getting into interviewing at some of the best schools, right? And we know that, I mean, I can look it up right now real quick. Let's see how many applications, a record high of 43,330 students are applying to Harvard. And it's an unbelievable amount. And then in terms of like, let's see, freshman class size, let me just pull up exact numbers here. They typically, let's see, they don't have as many, obviously. I'm going to take a look here, but we all know, oh, here we go. Admits 1,950.
Yeah, that's a really small number.
It's a really small number, right? Do you really feel like if you had taken all this time to try to figure out what we were doing with you, that you would have ended up getting these types of interviews?
I really don't know for sure, but I'll say this: college shortcuts has really helped me. Like I said before, I can't say this enough. To streamline the entire process because I was so confused before as to what to do, and college shortcuts, it just gave me a plan and just gave me steps to follow, and in the end, I feel like everything worked out perfectly.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like personally, I feel like college admissions is fun and it should be fun, right? Like, don't you feel like you've worked really hard in high school?
Yeah, and I was really worried as to what all the work would do. I feel like college shortcuts helped me take that work and express it clearly to the college, so I could get admitted and get these interviews, obviously.
Yeah, and one of the things you talked about was like express yourself and be able to sell who you are to get in. That skill, wouldn't you say, like figuring out how to say who you are and sell yourself is something that you didn't really technically learn in high school?
You don't learn it anywhere, I guess, except for college shortcuts, because that's really something that I feel like shortcuts had experience with, and I had no experience before this. So I feel like the whole process was just really helpful for my entire college application.
Awesome. And with your parents, I know they signed up, but how do they feel about everything that's happened at this point?
I'd say they're really excited about what's happening and all the admission offers I'm getting so far.
Awesome. So do you have offers that have come through?
I have had offers that come through, and I'm just still waiting for the really big ones I applied to.
Yeah, you got to do the interview process. Do you mind sharing any of the offers that you've gotten?
Well, just the small schools have come through right now, University of Maryland, NJIT, Rutgers, RIT, but all the deadlines come out in March and May and April, so I'm just really waiting for them.
I know, and you applied later on, so I totally get that. So okay, let's do this question, because I know a lot of parents may want to forward this to their kid. If there was a kid just like you in 8th grade that, could use our mentorship, or 9th or 10th grade, or maybe they're in 11th grade and they need to get, application help, but they're saying to their parents, I don't think I need this. What do you have to say to that teenager that's like, I don't really know if I need it, but they have the grades, they have great scores, and they think that just with that, they're absolutely awesome?
I'd say it can only help really, because I feel like college shortcuts, even if you feel like you know everything, they can teach you something else, something more you can add to your college application, and that small part might just really be the thing that gets you through to your dream college.
Totally. And I know obviously you're in school with other kids. Are you hearing were you getting things done what were your other friends talking about while you were working with us?
My other friends, I feel like I got done work faster with college shortcuts. I feel like their guidance has just really helped accelerate the entire process.
Definitely.
And I feel like I got more college applications done than my friends sometimes.
Exactly. I'm all about the shortcuts in life. For me, it's like, if I can work with someone who's like just a few steps ahead and they understand the process, it's really helpful. Another question we get a lot from parents is, or even from students in general, is like, well, the consultants aren't super old and like archaic, and they're like ancient. Like, how can someone so young be able to help my kid?
I don't really know if age is that much of a factor here. I feel like just the skill of the consultants is really what matters.
Totally. And there's a team, your editing side of your essays, there's like 2 to 3 people behind.
Oh, yeah, there were major edits going on. So
Let's
but they
talk
came back really fast. So
let's talk about that editing process. So, obviously you said, the consultant helps you to brainstorm in the right way to get that first essay solid. When you got your edits back, what were your thoughts?
I just thought, oh my gosh, how could I miss this? How, like, all these small things that, like, if I forgot, I really don't know if my college application would be that impressive, because like some small mistakes, some here and there, and some cleanups, it just helps get the word count down, or helps meet the word count, and just cleans up your essay really nice.
Totally. And just to be clear, we don't write your essay for you, right?
Yeah. I wrote the essay, and then I submitted it, and then after like a week or two, I got it back, and just all the edits were there, like one doc.
It's amazing, isn't it? I love doing that. To me, that's what I feel the shortcut is, because otherwise, a lot of other companies, what they do, and I know you're busy with all your APs and everything, they'll actually sit with you and stare on screen as they edit every line.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Well, my shortcuts consultant, she just really helped me brainstorm, and then I wrote things, and then I wrote some sentences and paragraphs, and then she would just give me her thoughts on that and what I could do to make that better. And I feel like that really helped. And the editing process was completely separate from that, but I feel like that also helped equally.
Totally. One of the things that people really love, and, as the founder, I created the resume template. And I have so many people like 10 years later still using that resume. How do you feel about your resume now after using it? I'm just curious, as someone who's
I
like,
feel like the resume template, it really helped me like organize my resume better and just get more details into my resume. Before I had like a really short, small resume, and I feel like just submitting the one from College Shortcuts, it just really helped put more information out there of what I did in high school.
yeah. Yeah, and it's really fun. I mean, for us, it's like, and I just want to be very clear for everyone, we help from A to Z, right? It's like we help you build a school list. We look into all the schools, make sure they're the right fit based on what you're looking for. Then, we take a look at your resume. We help to work on that process. We give you letter recommendation strategy. We make sure that, you're applying in the right way and all those types of things. So just so we're focusing heavily on the packaging side of Varenya specifically, but I want you to know there was a lot more to this process, right?
I feel like the choosing the schools was a really big part because before College Shortcuts, I was just looking at schools, just the basic information. I feel like College Shortcuts gave me additional information that I couldn't just find like on the school's website. I couldn't just find on the internet. Like it was cultivated. It was clear. It was all put together, and just really helped me decide like what school I wanted to apply to. And it showed me like the focus of each school and the benefits of going to that school and the statistics of the school, who lived there, what they did,
Exactly.
how the students interacted with each other.
Yeah. And, you want to study engineering, and I'm curious as to why that is.
I don't know. I just always had like a liking to everything with technology. So I just feel like engineering would be the best way to follow what I like in college.
Awesome. And with your essay, if you don't mind sharing a little bit, can you share a little bit about, what you decided to write about in your Common App essay?
I really decided to write about most days, like you said, I have a busy day, but I spend my day helping my brother at home, taking care of him. So I centered my essay from writing about him and his medical conditions, helping with that, to what I could do, what I did in high school, to what I can do in college. I feel like College Shortcuts really helped me. I keep saying this word streamline, but again, like streamline everything and just put everything into place so that it made the perfect essay.
Do you think you would have shared about your brother's story do you think you would have shared it as in depth and go there if it wasn't, with us kind of teasing that out and working through kind of the details?
I don't really think so, because I feel like my consultant, she just really made me pull out all the details, the explicit, vivid details of taking care of him and just putting that in my essay. And I feel like that language really just it spiced up my essay.
Yeah. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your brother?
He was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes about 4 years ago. So I've had to take care of him ever since at home, because my parents, they have jobs and they work long hours. So
Wow.
I come home most days after school and just help take care of him. And I feel like expressing that with College Shortcuts, that really helped me get a better essay.
I think also, when we talk about these things, like these things that are harder, right? Like my mom has type 2 diabetes, and all of my grandparents had it. I had one grandparent who ended up like amputated from it. I am so close to diabetes as a disease. It's probably my main driver for why I need to go to the gym and stop, eating what I eat. And I know there's a big difference between type 1 and type 2. I want to respect that. But I sometimes feel like what happens is so many students, and I talked about this on a Facebook Live about how we all think that we need to be perfect. And it's clear with your story, it's not the perfect situation. It's actually, it feels a little messy, and there's hard parts to it, and it's not easy. And sometimes even with diabetes, like they can end up in a situation where the sugar's too high or too low, and you're like,
yeah, that's a real problem.
Right? It's such an issue, and I totally feel for you on it. And I'm sure when the admissions readers read about it, they were like, wow, this isn't just another 1,500 SAT kid who's an all honors AP, right? They were able to get to know who you truly are. And that's why wouldn't you say that having a coach versus asking your mom and dad to work on that essay was such a pivotal point for you?
Yeah, I feel like College Shortcuts, that was just like an outside perspective. So my consultant read it as a college mission officer would. So I feel like that helped extract all the details and just put that in my essay, what I would have omitted by myself.
Totally. Exactly. Well, I'm so grateful you shared that, because I think so many people think that, I've had some parents say, like, I don't want it to be considered that my kid has gone through something that's too hard, and then the admissions officer feels sad for them, right?
Yeah.
And that's a horrible way to look at it, because the truth is there's so much we learn through taking care of someone else. Like, right?
I feel like College Shortcuts just really helped me like express that, like I took care of someone else, and that shows my abilities as a person, and that combined with what I managed to do with how I managed my time and my efforts in high school shows what I can do in college. And that's really what applying for college is about, and writing the essay.
Exactly. Well, Varenya, I just want to say that honestly, any college is going to be lucky to have you. And based on your work ethic, your drive, your motivation, your kindness, your ability to not run away from a situation and take it in and do it, even if it's hard, no matter where you go, you are going to be successful. And I know that that may be hard to take in, and maybe you'll take that in later, but I want you to know that, yes, I'm so glad you shot for the stars. I'm so glad you're interviewing. I want you in the interviews to portray that emotion even deeper, talk more about that story specifically, to really make sure they understand the way you manage your time. A lot of people could go through your exact same situation and make horrible grades, or blow off school, or not be involved in anything. And your ability to do both elegantly and beautifully is what makes you a standout student. So I want to tell you, thank you so much for being vulnerable, being open and authentic, and letting us know your story and sharing this with parents, because I feel like, when I created this company, I've been looking for kids like you my whole life. That's been my whole life mission. I work 7 days a week to find kids like you that are driven and hardworking, just like I was, with, and just want to get into their dream school, or want to get into a great school and continue forth with what they're doing. And I think that, you just have so many great things ahead of you. I can't even tell you, college is awesome. And I just want everyone else listening out there, Varenya's done the work. The shortcut's not, he still had to take the SAT. He had to make those grades. He had to go into honors classes. He did all the extracurriculars. He did the work. Where we came in for him was really package him well. And Varenya, would you say, like, if we came at you earlier, would you have liked to have a mentor, with our energy and stuff, even maybe a year or two or a few years earlier?
I feel like that would have really helped me just express myself better and just get more self-confidence, and actually really help me with school too, and just writing in general.
Awesome. Well, Varenya, thank you so much for being on here today. I really appreciate you. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this, this beautiful share of one of our students who's currently in the process with us, who was open to sharing their experience. I so love you, Varenya. If I was in New Jersey, I'd squeeze you so hard. And I'm so excited for everything that's coming your way. So thanks so much for being on.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.